Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and I'm at Locals right now, but I want to thank a couple of my friends for loaning me some of this stuff that I could do, this deck profile, and make it look really, really cool. First off, I want to thank my friend who loaned me his mat that he won at the YCS 200 this past weekend with having the Chaos Emperor Pendulum Monster, but still, it's Chaos Emperor Dragon on the card. For loaning it to me so I could do this deck profile, and thank you to my friend for also loaning me his first ed secret rare Chaos Emperor Dragon. Thank you to him. So, what is this deck, you're probably asking right now? Well, this is 2004 Chaos, one of the most powerful decks in Yu-Gi-Oh's history. It's pretty much called, the nickname for the deck is pretty much the banned deck, the banned cards deck, because there are so many banned cards in this deck, or banned or limited at one point in time in Yu-Gi-Oh's history. So without further ado, let's get to the deck profile of the deck and go over everything. So I broke it down into different sections of the deck, over different things that I run. So the first card I run 2 DD Warrior. Now what this card used to do back in the day, and still does to some degree up in GOAT format and future formats after, was what you would do is you would ram it into very powerful monsters to get around them. So if your opponent had a Jinzo on the field, you summon your DD Warrior, you get around that. Your opponent has a strong card, you attack, banish both, and there you go. Very good card. It's also a light attribute, so if you're able to discard to the graveyard through painful choice or card destruction, you're able to set up for your light and dark targets for either Chaos Sorceress if you decide to run that later down the road, but mainly for BLS and for Chaos Emperor Dragon. Next up I run double Kaiku. Kaiku is very important in this deck, and was important because what it would do is you would attack. You're fine, love you too. You would attack and you would banish your opponent's light and dark targets out of the graveyard. That way you could get rid of things to stop them from bringing out their own BLS or Chaos Emperor Dragon. It's also it's pretty much like a mini Necro Valley because it also protects your opponent can't banish things from their graveyard. So it's very essential, especially in the mirror match. And it's also a dark target as well. So notice the light and dark count. Next we run 2 Magician of Face. This card adds all your powerful 1-of spells, your Snatch and Steals, Delinquent Duos, like all that lovely stuff, like a quarter of the deck of it. You get to add it back through Magician of Faith. And it's a light attribute which helps out because it sets up for light and dark targets. Great. Next we have Reflect Bounder, Donzaluk as some of your 1-ofs. Donzaluk helps with hand control. You run a lot of hand. This is pretty much this version of the deck is based off what I used to play actually back then. Some of you guys do not know this, but I actually used to play competitive back in the day. I was about 14 years old. Me and my buddies, we built decks together back then. But this is like, gosh, like almost 20. It's almost 20 years ago, almost. About more like 15 years ago now. But Donzaluk helped with hand control back then, what you would do. So you had, because you had Delinquent Duo, Confiscation, Forceful Century, some people ran Spirit Reaper as well, but you would rip cards out of your opponent's hand. That's what it was used for. Reflect Bounder is just another light attribute, good card, that if they attack, they take the damage. It goes to grave. It's a light attribute, you know, pretty decent beater at 17 attack. So you get where this is going. And Donzaluk, like I said, you can use his mill effect too, but mainly we always used it for ripping cards out of opponents' hands. Some of your other standalone 1-of monsters, Breaker the Magical Warrior, Tribe Infecting Virus, and Sinister Serpent. You guys should all know the combination before the errata of Sinister Serpent. Each standby phase you get to add it back, use it for different card effects, mainly for Tribe Infecting Virus, because what you would used to do is you'd be like Tribe, pitch Sinister Serpent, call Machines, call Warrior, whatever the case may be, blow it up. It wasn't once per turn. Breaker was another way of getting around back row, was a 19 beater. Plus, as you notice here, dark attribute. The water attribute doesn't matter, but the dark attribute does for Breaker. Next up we run Shining Angel, Sangant Witch. These are some of your searchers for the deck. Shining Angel, 95% of the time, is going to search out DD Warrior Lady to help you get around certain plays and combo things and big monsters. So you set this Shining Angel, gets destroyed, gets to search DD Warrior Lady, banish a monster on your turn. So you attack into it on your turn, and then do some damage by normal summoning another monster. And Shining Angel being a light attribute doesn't hurt. And then the greatest love story in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! I call it Sangan, Witch of the Black Forest. It is literally the greatest love story if you don't know the lore behind these guys, especially Torgon and Sangan later on. But the original love trio of Yu-Gi-Oh, the two great searchers of Yu-Gi-Oh history before they were on this. Then we got your power monsters, your Yatagarasu, your Dark Magician of Chaos, your BLS, your Chaos Emperor Dragon. These are all amazing. I have my secret first ed that my friend loaned to me, my secret Yata I've had for years, my IOC BLS Blackluster Soldier that my friend loaned to me recently and gave it to me as a gift, and my DMOC that I've had for years as well. So these are very essential. You guys know the combo play with Chaos Emperor Dragon. If you have Witch, if you had Sangan, and you either Monster Reborn them, if you already used them, or Call the Haunted them and brought them back, or Premature Burial, whatever the case may be, you had Sangan on the field, and you special summon Chaos Emperor Dragon, and then you activate Chaos Emperor Dragon's effect, blow up the board, search for Yatagarasu, normal summon Yata, and then proceed from there. So you could really put your opponent in the Yata lock. DMOC was amazing. You could pitch it, you born it, add spells, great card. BLS is amazing, especially with priority. Helps get around scapegoats if people ran those back then. Helps around with so many things. The banish effect was amazing. Just, these were powerful cards. These cards made special summoning no longer special, especially Chaos and BLS. Now you may be wondering why is not Chaos Sorcerer in here. At that time frame in Yu-Gi-Oh history, it was a common that came out of Invasion of Chaos, and in 2004 when this deck was created, no one really ran it. Some people teched it in, and you could run it if you wanted to rebuild and visit this era and innovate the deck. But this is a classic build of the deck to try to build it as closely to historical accuracy of what people were thinking and the way people played. But if you wanted to innovate the decks, you could run Chaos Sorcerer as well. For your spells, for that steel stuff, you run one creature swap in my first edition Snatch and Steal that I've had forever. Creature swap is amazing. You can give him a Shining Angel, give him a card, you get the search off of it, you get steal a monster, Snatch and Steal a BLS, steal something big, a Jinzo. It's too good not to run. And if you're wondering where Jinzo is in the deck, this, like I said, is a hand control variation of the deck. It's a turbo variation as well. So Jinzo was not as useful in the deck because these big guys could just bump over Jinzo very easily. Delinquent Duo, Confiscation, Forceful Sentry, your hand control of the deck. Delinquent Duo, amazing. Pay 1,000, rip 2 cards out of your opponent's hand. Forceful Sentry, broken. Confiscation, just as broken. This is part of your hand control of the deck. That's why it's called Chaos Hand Control. Your destruction cards, you run Regeki and Dark Hole, just broken. Like, we have this nowadays, but back then this was just ridiculous. For your back row removal, we run 2 MST. MST I think was at 3 of at the time, but you only want to run 2 of because in addition to MST, you also have Heavy Storm and Harpy's Feather Duster during that time frame. So, I mean, back row removal, like people didn't run a lot of traps back then in this time frame era. If you were playing for fun, yeah, people ran a lot of traps, but if you were playing competitively like I was back then, yeah, you did run that many traps. Even if you ran Jinzo, you actually ran traps back then. People forget that. Painful Choice, Card Destruction, Mirage of Nightmare, Graceful Charity, Pot of Greed. These are your draw cards, your cards that do things for you, set up your graveyard. So let's get into this here. Painful Choice and Card Destruction. What do these do? Well, Card Destruction is back off the ban list at the time of me making this video. But Painful Choice and Card Destruction helps set up your graveyard for your Light and Darks. You can, okay, I got a whole bunch of Light and Darks engraved, discard, draw into BLS, special summon BLS with Card Destruction. Painful Choice, I just select Light and Darks, send them to the grave, you know, and everything of that nature, and then you can go off from there. Mirage of Nightmare combinates well with MST, because what you do is Mirage of Nightmare, you can draw until you have 4 cards in your hand, chain MST, destroy it, and you'll keep those 4 cards. The other cool thing is you can just activate Mirage and Nightmare, and even if you discard and you draw into Lights and Darks, you can use BLS later on. So if you try to set up Light and Dark targets for some reason, hopefully drawing into BLS down the road, it works out, but that's not the main reason you run it. You mainly run it because MST this allows you to draw 2 to 4 cards. Graceful Charity, Pot of Greed. You guys know what this does. Even though Pot of Greed is such a hard text and a hard card to understand, even back then nobody knew what it did. It was just such a hard card to understand. You really have to understand that it means draw 2 and it doesn't mean anything else. Graceful Charity, on top of being a draw card, sets up your graveyard for Light and Dark targets. So you get where I'm going with this.
I think you should just do.
For your Reborn cards, Premature Burial, Monster Reborn. They reborn cards from your graveyard, your monster cards. For your traps, 1 Call of the Haunted, it was at 1 of. 1 Torrential Tribute. You could run or not run this, but this card's really good. Even though if you play this deck historically, priority was a thing, and for you out there that did not understand what priority does, let me give you an example here quickly. So say I special summon my BLS to banish your card, and you activate Torrential Tribute. I can go as the turn player. I have priority, so I want to say priority, banish your monster, then Torrential Tribute will resolve, and BLS will go to grave. That's the best way I can explain priority for you guys out there that don't understand.
That's like actually the most functional card.
So next up, let's get to that. The other traps we run are Ring of Destruction for game. Very, very powerful card. And Imperial Order, this is before the errata, so you could turn this off. So if your opponent activates a very powerful spell card, you activate Imperial Order, turn them off for the turn. On your turn, you don't pay the life points, it dies. So you can turn it off. This card was broken just as much as it was back then. I'm sorry it got loud. But yeah, guys, I hope you all enjoyed this amazing, fun deck profile. I had a blast doing this deck profile for you guys. It's just such a freaking fun deck to play back then. People, this time frame shows you how much Yu-Gi-Oh was powerful back then. How different Yu-Gi-Oh was from back then. How the game was played so differently. How special summoning was still somewhat special, but becoming less so, you could argue. And how just some powerful combos and locks and broken cards were. It also teaches you why some broken cards are actually on the ban list or were limited at one time at that point in Yu-Gi-Oh's history. But it's a fun environment and time frame to go back and play. So I hope you guys all enjoy this video. I had fun doing it. Thank you to my friend for loaning out his championship playmat that he won at the YCS to do this as profile. And thank you to my friends for loaning his Chaos Emperor Dragon as well. Hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a thumbs up. I do apologize it's loud at locals, but I think you guys can hear me well. Until next time, take care, and I'll see you all next time.